I now call this meeting of the Upshur County Board of Education to order. We will start with roll call.
Jan Craig.
Present.
Sherry Dean.
Here.
Susan King.
Here.
William Parker.
Present.
Roy Wager.
Roy Wager, present. 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Wager. Christine Miller, I'm here. Tim DeRico.
Present.
April Sennick.
Present.
Elaine Pugh.
Present. If you will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mrs. Dean, will you lead us this evening, please? Yes, ma'am. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Parker, will you do the mission statement this evening, please?
I will. Upshur County Schools is committed to creating a united community for educational excellence.
We've been presented with the agenda. Are there any additions or adjustments to the agenda?
I would just like to propose to you this evening, since we need to cancel the September 9th meeting due to the celebration for Brandon Kelly in Charleston that evening, I would like to propose that we move that meeting to Thursday, September the 11th at 6 p.m.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda with that one change.
So moved.
Mr. Parker, second.
Second.
Mrs. Dean, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Information. We have five delegations.
Yeah, we have 5 delegations this evening. Before we begin tonight's delegations, I do want to remind everyone that we are involved in a process, and it's a process that has to take place during consideration in any county in the state of West Virginia when you're talking about school closures and consolidations. It is guided by state statute, West Virginia Code 18513A, and West Virginia Board of Education Policy 6200. We as a county cannot circumvent either one of those. Part of that process is the requirement to hold hearings for the public to have an opportunity to express their support in favor of the proposal or against the proposal. Those hearings will be scheduled, legal advertisements secured, and all the information that must be provided and prepared will be available at all of the schools involved, as well as the board office 30 days prior to when those hearings are set. Tonight, we are here to listen to your concerns. We will be limiting delegation time, as our policy says, and we are going to give you all 5 minutes. However, if there are more things that you want to say but you don't have the opportunity and you want to leave written comments or you want to provide written comments to us, you are more than welcome to do so. They will become a part of the official book and things that we have to share with the State Department of Education. I also will remind you that the 5 board members, well, 4 that are sitting here before you and Mr. Wager that is on the phone, do not have any authority in this process or rulemaking. They are here to listen, as all of us are, but when the decision to move forward is made, they will not have that opportunity to make that decision. It will be made outside of the authority of this board because currently the board does not have any authority. I would be remiss if I did not point out that we do have a lot of counties that are in the same position we are. You all have been able to watch and you've heard the county to the east of us and the situations that they've been going through. We also know that another county was taken over by the state as well due to the same kinds of situations. We have experienced a loss of revenue in the county for this school year. Due to declining enrollment. We also had it last year. Because this year's budget, state aid is based on last year's enrollment. It's a year lag. We do not have final figures of enrollment yet for this school year. They will not be certified until October. Usually about the 15th of October is when we get those final enrollment figures that we have to certify through the State Department of Education. Hopefully, we won't have lost a large number again, and things will begin to stabilize here in the county. So as we begin the delegation time, we want to remind you of the rules for delegations. Like I said, we will give you 5 minutes each, and if there's more that you want to say, please provide that to me, and I will make it a part of the official record as we're putting all of the things together that we need to. They cannot answer any questions. I cannot answer any questions. They can't say, we can't say anything. We can only listen. That's what happens during delegation time. We do ask that we observe reasonable decorum, that any of the statements that you are making are not personally directed at anybody here in the room, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. We're here to listen. We're here to listen. I simply made a proposal. It does not mean that it is going to go through, but that's what we're here for, and we are here to listen. And I do believe that Jessica Bennington, did you come back in? Okay. We'll let you go ahead and come up to the mic first. You are going to have to forgive me because I don't know exactly how this thing works, but I'm going to try to figure it out. Oh, there we go, right? Okay, so then we're trying to hang on one second, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Hit this reset. Does it just start? Okay, there we go. Okay, we have to reset it over. Yeah, I have to hit both these.
At the same time?
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep this here so that you can see.
Okay.
Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Well, I'm Jessica Bennington. I have a son that goes to Rock Cave School, and we just would like it not to be closed down. He doesn't like to go to French Tech. He's tried the summer school there, and he doesn't like the school. So, and for him to have to go all the way to town, he's only 8 years old, and that's a pretty good trip for an elementary school kid. And he also wanted to say stuff.
You can do it.
I wanted where the Rocky Elementary School will be closed down. Well, if I be late for school, we don't have to use that much gas, and I just love Rocky much.
Very good.
If I have to go to preschool, I will hate it there.
Next is Christy Goday.
All right. Hi, I'm Christy Goday. I guess you could say I'm representing a student, a parent, and a staff member of Tennerton Elementary School. I have been all three. I have three wildly successful children that went through Tennerton Elementary School, and I'm super proud of them.
Dr. McKinley Godet started her first job today, so shout out to her. I just have some things I'd like to share. Put together a theme here called transparency. I feel like it's, my brothers used to sing me a song when the youngest is 7 children, and it was called Same Song, Second Verse, Can't Get Better, but it's going to get worse. So, transparency. I just want it on the record that the Tennerton staff did in fact find out that our school was closing from Facebook and from Michael Cannon's report from 2 weeks ago. So that's unfortunate the way that happened. I have some information here in the effort to be transparent. We had all of 15 seconds to kind of think and prepare for this. So we found some good things. In the school year 2025-26, the CEP data, I understand numbers haven't been certified, but community eligibility provision data from the state of West Virginia shows that the current enrollment for Tennerton Elementary is at 297, and base for 25-26 is at 503, making the combined totals 800. Only 4 elementary schools in our research in West Virginia have an enrollment over 700 students. Weirton Elementary in Hancock County with 827 students. Johnson Elementary in Harrison County with 740 students. Frankfort Elementary in Mineral County with 714. I talk with my hands and it's really hard to hold these papers. Cheat Lake Elementary in Monongalia County with 752. If TES and base, Tennerton Elementary and Buchanan Academy, numbers remain the same next year as they are this year, the consolidation would be the largest, second largest elementary school in the state of West Virginia. That seems crazy to me. We also found the Comprehensive Educational Facilities Plan data from some various schools, not from all of the counties. Johnson Elementary in Harrison County was built in 2018. These are the 4 schools that had the over 700 students. It was built in 2018. It sits on an 11-acre site with a drop-off loop, and it's adjacent to Bridgeport High School. Weirton Elementary is a $26.4 million facility built in 2014. Cheat Lake Elementary has some various, it's in an old middle school, but it's still, I think the oldest portion of it is about 1950. I have the exact numbers in my folder if you care to see them. Sits on 19 acres with a bus loop. Frankfort Elementary is brand new, completed in 2024. Those are the 4 schools that have enrollments over 700 students. For comparison, we found Upshur's CEFP report, and it states that Buchanan Academy is situated on 4.6 acres. These are direct quotes from what we found on the state site of usable space, and which lists that it is not compliant with recommended acreage guidelines, which say a minimum of 5 acres and another acre for every 100 students. The report also states that the facility, as it stands now, needs replacement square footage to demolish the original 1930 building, replacing HVAC, clean and seal masonry, and make safe school entry improvements. At the last board meeting, it was stated that the required improvements to combine the 2 schools would be a boiler, a chiller, and a roof of the 1930s gym. Seems to me that the roof would be just a Band-Aid to a building that's recommended to be demolished. It's my understanding that the 3rd floor is inaccessible to students and staff, so I'm not quite sure how a boiler and a chiller address that issue. Tennerton, oddly enough, sits on 14 acres and has a very nice drop-off loop, a huge playground, and is well off Route 20. It almost seems like a better deal to move base to Tennerton, but we don't want to combine a school at all. I mean, to have the 2nd largest elementary school in the state seems ridiculous to me. I'm not sure how the taxpayers of Upshur County would support something like that. It almost feels like one of those home improvement things where they come in, build a giant house, and the people have to move out because they can't afford it. West Virginia, I'd also like to, in transparency, West Virginia State Assessment, I have to brag. I mean, we got the best of the best. I am so proud of my 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers. They're just amazing, and they're rock stars, and I'm proud to know them. TES ranks first in 4 out of the 7 subgroups. I saw that you have the exact paper that I printed. Mine's in black and white because I didn't want to waste the color ink. And second in another. I'll say that again. We rank first in 4 out of the 7 subgroups in our county and second in another. Those 4 areas also are higher than the state's percent proficiency. So I thought that was interesting. I'm going to give you copies of this. I have a set of questions, and I do completely understand that you can't answer me. I just want the questions out there, and they can just let. What data is being used to determine that TES should be closed? I feel like we need some of those answers, and I understand we're getting to that process. How will student placement be determined if TES closes? If Tennerton is closed, will Tennerton students be transferred to other schools besides base? Because it seems to be insinuated they would only be going to base. What are the projected financial savings from closing Tennerton, and how are those numbers calculated? What are the financial analyses, cost benefit studies, or budget documents used in considering the closures? What additional costs are associated with relocating staff, transporting students to another school? Were interest surveys conducted on parents' willingness to continue enrolling their students in an elementary school with 700 to 800 plus students? I mean, if student enrollment in our public schools in general is a problem, it seems like, I don't know, you might want to get a feel for, are you willing to come to a gigantic school that's the size of a AA high school? Will transportation times and costs be impacted? Will additional bus routes be required? What is the time? I can't even speak about traffic. What is the timeline for making this decision, and who makes the final decision? What are the plans for repurposing Tennerton Elementary building?
Your time is up.
Thank you.
If you want to read that. Cheyenne?
My name's Cheyenne Troxel. I'm here not only as a concerned parent and community member, but as a voice for the countless families who cherish and depend on Rock Cave Elementary School. The prospect of its closure has sent ripples of worry and uncertainty throughout our community, prompting deep reflection on what this school means, not just as a building, but as the heart of our rural life. One of the most powerful advantages to our little school is its ability to offer individualized attention, smaller class sizes, teachers know every student by name, personality and learning style. Instruction is tailored to meet each child's academic strengths and challenges, and intervention can be immediate and effective. Research consistently shows that students in smaller schools often outperform their peers in larger, more impersonal institutions. They are likely less to fall through the cracks and more likely to be engaged, supported, and inspired. Our rural teachers are not only educators, but mentors and role models. Their commitment is evident in after-school activities, encouragement, and extracurricular pursuits, and the genuine bonds they form with families. The closure of our school would mean longer bus rides and less time for children to spend with their families, complete homework, and participate in community activities. For young learners, these transitions are especially hard and can negatively impact their academic performance, emotional well-being, and sense of identity. Closing our school would create significant barriers for many families. Transportation is a major concern in rural areas where distances are vast and public transit is unavailable. Some families lack reliable vehicles or the flexibility to accommodate long commutes. Longer travel times for young children are not only exhausting, but can also compromise their safety, especially during inclement weather. Our school serves as a central access point for vital resources, school meals, counseling, special education services, and after-school programs. The loss of this hub disproportionately affects the vulnerable students, those from the low-income families, students with disabilities, and those with non-traditional families. Our school provides a haven ensuring all children receive the support they need to thrive. Our rural elementary school is a testament to the years of community investment, financial, emotional, and intellectual. Generations of families have contributed to the growth and improvement. Closing the school would devalue this investment, sending a signal that rural voices and needs are not as important as those in larger districts. Furthermore, research shows that closing rural schools leads to population decline, property devaluation, and the weakening of the local tax base. Families who might otherwise settle in our area will look elsewhere. The ripple effect touches each and every aspect of rural life, from the vitality of local businesses to the ability of municipalities to maintain essential services. Conversely, keeping our school open and investing in its future demonstrates a commitment of rural sustainability. It aligns with state and national priorities to revitalize rural America, ensuring that all children, regardless of geography, have access to quality public education. Our school can serve as a model for innovation, whether through distance learning, community partnerships, or place-based education initiatives that connect curriculum with the unique assets of our region. We recognize the budgetary constraints and difficult decisions facing the Board of Education. However, we believe that solutions can be found that do not sacrifice our children's futures or rural vitality. We are eager to partner with you and explore creative alternatives such as shared services with neighboring districts, grant opportunities, and expanded community use of school facilities. We respectfully urge that the board consider the full cost of the closure, not only in dollars but in dreams deferred, opportunities lost, and the erosion of community fabric. We invite you to visit our school, speak to our teachers and our students and our families, and witness firsthand the unique spirit and resilience that defines us. In closing, we ask at East Rock Cave Elementary School, not as a line item on a budget, but as a living, breathing center of learning and community, the kind of place that shapes strong citizens and healthy societies. On behalf of all the children and families who call this community home, we implore you to keep our rural elementary school open and invest in the bright futures that begin within our walls.
Becky Westfall.
Good evening. I'm here to represent not only the community and these wonderful teachers and support staff that we have, but I'm also a grandmother. I'm here to address these issues because, quite frankly, we were blindsided by this disgraceful act that has happened in our community. To say the very least, contradicting the mission statement, Upshur County Schools is committed to creating a united community. This does not unite, this divides, and it is happening. The school closing plans are simply unacceptable on multiple levels. The state poured feeble attempt to build a new school when the bond didn't pass for a junior high or middle school to be moved over here. That's just basically numbers. These kids need to be separated. These elementary schools need to be kept together. These teachers, the ones that commit every moment of their days and their year, need to be with these students in smaller classrooms. The budget needs to come up with something different. The state came in to fix things, and quite frankly, they're not fixing anything. The teachers have been treated horribly over the last couple of years. Last year, I myself read a memo that told the principals to control your teachers. That is unacceptable. We will not control our teachers. They're here to help our kids. If we want to give them things, if they want to request things, we will give it to them. And we certainly
Please
do.
refrain from the applause so she can say what she needs to say.
We certainly don't need to control our teachers. And the fact that these teachers were not notified in advance and found out, like the rest of us did, watching it live stream, was simply unacceptable. We brag about the test scores and how great they've come into play since the state took over. Well, but let's take a couple steps back. COVID was devastating to the communities. The test scores went in the tank. We can only go up because we didn't have school for almost 2 years. And who did that? These guys. These teachers worked to make the students work harder and test better because they care. And you're trying to take their schools from them. The same schools that we're educating our community, the united community that we're supposed to have, that is our mission statement for Upshur. That is not happening. It is time for the state to give up control because you've really done a crappy job. And the rest of the school board, they need the right to come up and say what they mean without having to stay silent. like they're standing in a school corner because they did something wrong, because the administration before is the ones that did something wrong. But quite frankly, the state administration right now is not doing a great job because you're trying to take away from our community, from our teachers, from our students. With all due respect, Upshur County needs their county back. For those who don't care about our community, and it's very clear the state's agenda does not focus on the needs of our community. You do not have the vast support of this community, and I will not stay silent, and neither will the rest of us.
Mr. Wager? Mr. Wager?
Sorry, we think we may have lost Mr. Wager.
Mr. Wager? Is it, you were still on there? You called? I'm sorry. Okay, can you hear?
I'm here.
Can you hear now?
Yeah,
Wanda, it's okay. Wanda Koger?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm also watching on link.
Gotcha.
Hello. I wasn't sure if I was going to say anything today, but I have two daughters. One goes to Buchanan Upshur Middle School. The other one goes to Tennyson Elementary. My kids, I've had 4 daughters go to Tennyson Elementary, and both of them, all 4 of them, have done amazing. The teachers, the IEPs, everything that these teachers have created have helped my kids. What are you guys going to do adding more kids to academy, the high school? My kids already stay sick from stomach bugs, everything else. You guys are just going to make them sicker. It makes absolutely no sense. I don't have nothing else to say. I'm just mad.
Thank you. That does end that does end those that have signed up to speak this evening.
Superintendent's update.
Yes. So I did share with you this evening data on the elementary proficiency at Buchanan Upshur Middle School and Buchanan Upshur High School, as well as overall proficiency for Upshur County schools. On the second page, you will see order of proficiency by the counties that surround us. And in the gold are ones that I highlighted that are first. Upshur County was first in math proficiency this year, and we were second in ELA proficiency among the counties around us. You can see that Webster County, they did hold their own with math, which they were first last year, and then they were number one again in English language arts proficiency. This is not accountability information. The accountability information, which tells us how we are performing overall based on guidelines that were put into place back in 2018, will be shared at the state board meeting on September the 10th. That's all I have for this evening.
Board member committee meeting updates. Mr. Parker.
The Stafford Youth Center board has not met, so I do not have any updates.
Mrs. King.
Yes, Upshur County Parks and Rec met on the 19th, and we have new president, Julie Kastner, and 3 new board members for the Parks and Recreation, Amber Stump, Julie McCourt, and Joe Hughes. And as of the 19th, since I took good notes on the one before, I was elected secretary. Go figure. For all of you who I had in school take notes, you know. Total trails money, they have $4,719 in their account. And a trails update. On Monday, August 11th, there was a girls' ladies ride night, and it was a phenomenal event. They had 19 women show up and girls. Harrison County and Upshur County both participated. They got future projects. They want to do a changing room on the location with booths and porta pots. They're talking to Rotary Club about funding for the building materials, and then volunteers will build it. They have had trail vandalism, cameras stolen, tires in trees, and some things that were just, I guess, high school pranks, but then others that were more serious. The director's report for Parks and Rec, they're going to still continue with weekend swims, parties through August 31st, and then September 2nd, pool closes. Let's see, tennis courts. County Commission is taking them over. The top courts, there will be tennis and pickleball, and the bottom courts, there's going to be 6 new pickleball courts. So that's it for Parks and Rec.
Mr. Wager, I believe, made his comments at the last meeting. Mrs. Dean?
I did not attend the library board meeting. I was sick, and I didn't think they wanted me to share. So I stayed home.
There have been no meetings with 4-H. On to minutes, policies, contracts, and agreements. As a reminder, all items have been approved through the authority of the State Superintendent of Schools. You've been provided with the minutes from the previous meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Parker? Second?
Second.
Mrs. Dean? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Agreements.
Yeah, the first agreement on the agenda this evening is with Neola for the purposes of supporting updates to the Upshur County Board of Education's policy manual. This agreement is a renewal of the original agreement for 1 calendar year in the amount of $5,000 for consultation fees and additional cost as outlined in the agreement. I can say today they did push out another update, so you will be receiving additional policies to look over for the next meeting. If we move on to the consent agenda, we have field trips. We have Upshur's FAA Next Gen Emerging Technologies Conference. It's an out-of-state conference for our students and our sponsors to attend in Fargo, North Dakota, September 6th to the 13th. They are flying, and they do have funding that will be covering that trip. Boosters, this evening we are asking, and has been approved by the state, for the Buchanan Upshur Middle School cheerleading boosters to be recognized as an outside booster organization. They did provide all the required documentations to be able to receive this recognition as an outside organization. Moving on to financial, you should have received a check register. I do want to call your attention to the need that we will have to present by the end of September, FY25's closeout and final statements, because those do have to be approved and they have to be then shared with the public. So that will be coming in September. In speaking with Ms. Wills, she said they're getting there quickly, so they can get those financial statements wrapped up for last fiscal year. Moving on to personnel, you do have in the attachment here, we did have several resignations. We also have had several employments on both the professional and the service side. We also had some extracurricular personnel as well as athletics. I do want to draw your attention to the changes that we're working with the State Department to implement to make this entire report easier for you all to read and understand. You will notice that in the fourth column, when it comes to resignation, we do tell you whether we have an actual resignation from them to put in their personnel file. We do tell you the location. And then if you move over to employment, you will notice that it's a position, location, and if we have their certification, background check, and items for the personnel file received. They will not appear on an agenda until we do have those pieces. Same thing for service personnel. The last piece on our agenda this evening for personnel are placements through West Virginia Wesleyan College These are teacher candidates that are working in conjunction with a classroom teacher. They are placements where those teaching candidates are not working in the classroom without supervision from our classroom teachers. In the fall, Education Class 188, which is a course-embedded field placement of 10 hours completed across the semester. You can see the list of students that has been brought forth from Wesleyan. Also in Education 205 and 206, which is a course-embedded field placement of 30 hours completed across the semester. You can see the names that are there. And then we also have Fall 2025 Education 209 and Spring 2026 of Education 210. This is course-embedded field placement accompanied by faculty 1 day weekly for 40 minutes. Then we also have Fall 2025 Education Class Course 310, 315, and 360. That's a course-embedded field placement of 15 hours completed across the semester. We have the list of students that would be participating in that. And then we also have in Fall 2025 a specialist class, which is Course 330, and that's the embedded field placement, 15 hours completed across the semester. Also this fall in Ed 370, which is a course embedded field placement for 15 hours completed across the semester, we have students that are participating as well. Now when we get down to Section 2, all of these placements that are in this section are course embedded placements that have teacher candidates, again, working in conjunction with the classroom teacher, as well as taking on multiple teaching tasks and instructing the P12 students without the classroom teacher. They are much longer placements at 250 plus or 500 plus hours. All paperwork has been submitted to the WVDE, and we have received that paperwork back from them. We do have a list of elementary students as well as one secondary student. This is a great list, and it would be fabulous if we can keep all of these young folks that are going through the education department local and working in the counties that are here and surrounding us. We do have a list of volunteers that have gone through the State Department's volunteer background check and have submitted their paperwork through their principal that the county also keeps on file. And the last piece on here is we did have requested leave from an employee, and it's intermittent so that she can attend to family needs as far as health care is considered for her family.
On the second page, we have a termination
Yes.
in March 2025. Is there a reason we're getting it now in August?
Yes, there is. So we worked very hard to get confirmation from the employee, and it has taken us this long to do so. And on the advice of legal counsel, they said that we needed to keep trying to get that. They just showed up one day and said they quit. We had not received any formalized resignation from them or anything, so we continued to work with the former employee so that we could get to this point.
And we have verified that the payroll stopped when he
Yes,
stopped.
I have.
Okay.
That brings us to future meetings. Our next meeting is September the 11th. Please note that change. 6 o'clock here at Buchanan Upshur High School. September 23rd, 6 o'clock here at Buchanan Upshur High School, and October 7th here at 6 o'clock at Buchanan Upshur High School. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Mrs. Dean, second.
Second?
Mr. Parker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are officially adjourned at 6:38. Thank you all for coming.